an altercation became between at the convenience store. Broke out the front window to escape the convenience store. He was then wrestled to the ground by the vigilantes, hogtied. Police was called. Came out. He was detained by the police, thrown in the back of the cruiser for 30 minutes. We went to pull him out of the cruiser to actually give him medical care. That's when they started beating him and tasing him, and then all the cameras went silent, so we don't know what happened other than from the EMT report that he had no heartbeat and wasn't breathing, so he effectively died there at the convenience store.
How much justice do you think needs to be served because of this? Do you think that the sheriff's office is supposed to be held accountable? Well,
I think when you're a trusted member of law enforcement, you go through certain training, and the training you receive is higher than the person on the street. You know what the standards are. You know how to deal with people. People like Bobby that was having a mental health emergency. During the time he was detained. So we think that the problems flow from the top down, from the Board of County Commissioners to what they caused the sheriff to do to the sheriff and what he caused his deputies to do, and then so that leads to what the deputies do out in the field when they don't have the right training. When Bobby was tased, we know at least 4 or 5 times. Those weren't even county tasers. The county doesn't even issue tasers. The county gives no training on tasers. What happens when you have an individual already in distress and you tase them 4 or 5 times? Well, let me tell you what happens. Your heart stops. And you're going through anaerobic physical exertion. And we believe that's what happened to Bobby. But the facts will play out during the course of this investigation.
Kind of what's next? Can you tell me what's next?
Well, what's next is we've just filed the lawsuit this morning, and we'll go through the process of the county will retain counsel. We'll start the discovery process. The records that we got were already pretty extensive that the McCurtain County Gazette got through their open records. But obviously we've got to do a lot more digging and see who knows what. We'll talk to those individuals and, we'll get to the bottom of this. And I think concurrently with this, there are state and federal law enforcement organizations that are also doing investigations. We may have to hit pause on ours because we always give deference to them. But we'll get to the bottom of what really happened that day and what caused Bobby to die.
Is there anything that you would like to say, ma'am?
I'm just glad that we finally are getting some answers. It's been a year without knowing exactly what happened to my husband. A lot of these details are very disturbing, some of which of course, I have not watched the body cam, and I probably will not. But I'm glad that we are getting the answers that we've been waiting for and that we are able to move forward with this. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Do you have any words of empathy for other community members here in McCurtain County who may have suffered?
Oh, absolutely. I've heard about a lot of the other issues with different cases going on, and so I hope that they get justice just like I'm hoping for my husband.
What about you? What can you say as you represent Ms. Barbara?
Well, I represent the Barrick family, and I represent another family that's already filed suit in federal court against the sheriff in the jail. That this history of violence and solving problems with violence, this history of excessive force, the history of using incorrect non-lethal weaponry that turns out to be lethal, goes to a lack of training in county priorities, and the county priorities are set by the county commissioners. If you give your deputies a bunch of hammers, everything looks like a nail. And so if the only training you have is in a hammer, you're going to go hit every nail hard. And that's what we're seeing here. So, the lack of being able to de-escalate situations, the lack of non-lethal training, dealing with people, that are experiencing mental health crises, that's one thing, we'd like to see come out of this for the family and for other families in McCurtain County that may have suffered at the hand of this department and others. Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it.